Hello, we're in Easthampton, Massachusetts, and thank you for coming on the stop. We're on a street that's called Franklin Street. We're in a block that contains all the elements of a church campus. And this Catholic church, you can see in front of us a wooden-clad church. It's called the Sacred Heart of Jesus Church. It's a post-ethnic group church. The building is from 1909, so it's in good shape for that amount of age. And you can see that it's Gothic, but just barely. And it has a very unique steeple. It's made of a metallic element. You know, the rest of the steeple is wooden. So it has a nice look to it. I wonder how it compares to churches in Poland, because a lot of communities actually emulate their churches in their past country. All right, so the church is not active. It's now part of the parish of Our Lady of the Valley, but it was very, very active for 100 years. And the first pastors, I have a big list of almost all the pastors and where they're buried. And what we're going to do on this stop is point out the various elements. And so in the front you see some benches and the statue of Mary herself. And it's very nice and quiet inside there, and it honors greatly all the people that have supported this community. But in the back is the rectory, and the rectory is from the same age, and they had bought this land from one of the parishioners, and the parishioners were very, very generous because they bought it for a very low amount of money. And so they were able to make everything needed right on the same land. The land was bought from Stanley Popolarskik and his family, and some of the land was bought from Oscar Neitfer. So that rectory was heavily used. You see, it's very large, and that's for a reason, because not only would you need two pastors for the church, you might have like two priests working as teachers at the school. Okay, and so we see two beautiful elements here, plus that gorgeous courtyard. Now the whole land itself is very large, and so you don't get a full sense of just how large it is unless you start walking around this block. So I invite you to walk down Neitfer Street, which is to our side, and just see how big the campus is. And they made it on purpose so that it'd be very, very peaceful, to pacify your feelings. Now notice this place for flags, including the Polish flag they wanted. And in the back also, you have a garage. And towards the back, I think they bought that building back there at one point and turned it into a community center, but I don't think they want it anymore. So this is one point of view of this campus, and I'm going to point out that its cemetery, most of the Polish that were very old burials were buried in the St. Bridget's Cemetery, and that cemetery is very, very old, from 1880s, and up to 1923, the Polish would have been buried there. But in that year, they switched over to the St. Stanislaus Cemetery, which is off of Holyoke Street. And from 1923 up to the present day, the Polish are buried in that particular cemetery. So thank you very much for coming here.